Mm-hmm. That's okay. I think we're close. There we go. All right.
Taking notifications on my phone. Oh. I am.
I did, yeah. Hello, Jason Ward.
I closed tabs and everything.
I don't know.
Came up right as I hit refresh
A
again.
couple of technical difficulties this evening. You know, standard stuff.
Nope.
Like, actually.
I
Pesky computers. How you doing, Jason? Yeah, we're not on Discord, so they can't hear you. I believe it's Scarlett all the way. I think it's one vote for Destro and then everyone else. Scarlett. How's the house going?
both good, yeah. Hi, Logan.
Hey, Logan. How's it going? We usually give it a minute or two before I start scribbling.
I think you should tell everybody about your haul today.
Yeah.
You don't want to?
No, I want to. I'll do pictures, but
Oh, okay.
Alicia was.
I
How
spent.
should we?
I went shopping and spent a lot of money on things I like for just me. And the rule here is whatever one person spends, the other person gets an identical budget. So Jeff has he only made a dent. He's got quite an extravagant budget to work with here for spending cash.
Yeah, Logan, we're doing good. I went over to Paul's and spent some money to try to show support after his break-in, and bought basically a box of Savage Sword of Conan magazines and a giant Transformer Scorponok for those in the know. So that's exciting. Not that I've opened it yet, but.
Icy Hot says, ooh, I'm on time.
Icy hot, huh? Interesting.
Oh,
Yeah, maybe at some point. I gotta stick with this stream for a little bit before I deviate too much. Okay.
I think you can deviate whenever you want, as long as you still do this.
Right.
Just do extra. It's like bonus content.
Okay. Couple minutes in. Like I said, thanks, Jason. Scarlett won the poll. This is just a original character sketch.
It's a little bit of eye candy while we wait for people to
Right.
stream and kind of get ready.
So for those who don't know, what I do is just a quick 20, 25-minute sketch during the stream. You guys can ask questions and chit chat and whatnot. And at the end, what I do is roll a 20-sided die and let you guys guess in the chat what number I rolled, and whoever guesses it first wins the sketch. So it forces you to stick around. So for tonight's reference, I brought my Scarlett Super 7 figure. These are pretty awesome. They make very cartoon accurate figures. She's even got a bunch of different types of bolts for her crossbow and just little dorky things that I like.
He had to bring it home from the office.
Yeah, it's normally on the shelf in my office with some of the other G.I. Joes, including the Baroness and Duke, but I don't have Destro yet. All right. Another thing that I do that sometimes throws people off, I do kind of a rough preliminary sketch, and then I erase it to an extent. I can still see kind of the bones of the drawing, and then I go in with a darker lead to sort of finish the sketch. So if you see me erase everything, I'm not starting over.
Yes, don't panic.
I thought I'd do for this one is, Jason knows this, but probably my favorite piece of animated anything ever is the opening to the G.I. Joe movie, which is just spectacular, both music and animation and whatnot. And I really like that a lot of the main character Joes are in jetpacks flying around. And there's a great shot of Scarlett just flying towards the camera and like straight up decking one of the dreadnoughts. So I'm going to draw something like that, or inspired by that, I should say. Everybody happy that Monday is over or what? I know I am. It's kind of a day. I never really know what to babble about while I'm drawing.
Yeah, feel free to ask questions if you guys have questions for Jeff about his techniques or being an artist or where he studied or what he enjoys in the comic world.
Yeah. Movies, cartoons, comic books, video games, although I'm kind of delinquent on the video games lately. Let's see here.
Are you ready to play Ark with me?
Nope. I basically play the same, I was telling the guys last night, I basically play the same first hour and a half of Baldur's Gate 3 over and over again with different character ideas and never really get anywhere.
Jason says, could you tell us your thought process on pose and how you decide what to go with?
Yeah, so I try to think of, like I am obsessed with stories. That's kind of, if you boil it all down, that's where my inspiration usually comes from. That's why I like all this crap. And a lot of times I try to think of a story first. Before I even think of a pose, I'm like, what's going on here? You know, so like I said, for Scarlett here, I was thinking of that opening sequence of the movie. And I was like, all right, so I'm going to draw her sort of flying at us, almost in an action pose with a jetpack. And then I just kind of experiment with body positions, foreshortening, which is drawing limbs or the body in perspective. So things like this leg is kicked back, so we're not going to see much of it. Her lower leg is probably here, and her foot would be like here back in the drawing. So I'm not going to draw it because we wouldn't see it. And sometimes foreshortening, if you push it, can really add dynamism to a drawing. Also, sometimes to be completely honest, like some posing is a chance to play to your strengths and conceal some of your weaknesses. So if you have trouble drawing certain body parts or certain pieces of tech or something like that, sometimes you can fudge it by the pose and the composition of the drawing. Not that I've ever done that.
Bob apologizes for being tardy and says it's looking great so far.
Thanks, man. I'm just gonna do some classic speed lines for quote unquote background on this one. Let's see. So Scarlett is like obviously a master of hand-to-hand combat and missile weapons. And the thing I like about her in the show is basically she doesn't take anybody's shit. And she backs that up with action. And that's why she's one of my favorites, I think. I mean, all the Joes generally are like super brilliant in a million different disciplines. Oh, I speak 20 languages and master disguise and 15 forms of martial arts and all that. So it's kind of a thing, but it helps too. I think some of the characters literally came down to like the voice actor. When I was a kid, certain characters you just gravitated to from the performance, which sounds dumb for, you know, basically a 25-minute animated commercial for toys, but here we are. Nice, nice.
beat me
There it
to it.
is.
I'm
Alicia was
typing
trying
right
to trying to type the the other half of that. Too fast. It's hard not to want to draw something that's going to look weird.
It's all good, Bob.
She has stars. Gloves here. Bob, you were late to the party, but I was showing people my dorky Scarlett figure for reference.
Bob says it's hard not to draw something that's going to look weird. I say that to myself every day.
It always kind of looks weird one way or another, right?
Jason said, I don't remember Scarlett from Action Force. Was she in Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles?
Oh, God. So Jason and I often note the difference between the American version of some of these cartoons and the British version.
Oh.
And in England, they, the racist bastards, couldn't use ninja as a adjective for a toy line or whatever cartoon characters, so they had to be Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. And they didn't do G.I. Joe. They did Action Force, which was like the same characters and everything. It's just worse music and crappier voice actors, basically. No offense, Jason, but
But I bet the accents were amazing.
no, because they were still American. Supposed to represent a more global force and not so Americanized, but then they just basically gave everybody American accents anyway. So I don't know.
Bob likes your action figure. He says, nice.
Thank you.
Logan says they had Coral instead of Scarlett.
Oh, is that what it was? That's just weird. But I remember, like, even like I was saying, I'm obsessed with that G.I. Joe, the Action Force version. That one's just sad. All right. Like I said, don't panic.
Jason says, no offense taken. Bob says, Jason has the worst dubbing. And Jason said, oh, that's right. At this point, I don't know what he was talking about. So don't panic. And he's going to redraw over it how he wants the finished sketch to look. And I'm just going to plug really quickly, if you're new here, hang around to the end, because somebody will win the finished sketch at the end. Jeff will mail it to you if you are the lucky winner.
I may have made her head too big, but we'll see.
Jason said, sorry, that's right, it was Coral instead of Scarlett. I had totally forgotten. And Bob didn't panic this time. Yay, Bob. And Logan said, I think Argentina had a repaint of Scarlett as well called Glenda.
Oh, Glenda. Yeah, the Good Witch.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, there's all kinds of weird variations and whatnot. Oh, well.
Jason says, amazing.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, I was thinking about it today when I was getting ready to draw these. One thing I remember from the cartoon I always thought was a little weird is for Scarlett, you know, she has these bright blue eyes, but in the cartoon, her pupils were white. They didn't give her, a lot of times, like in the close-ups and stuff, she'd have these blue irises, but then the pupils would just be white. I don't know.
Bob asks, do you prefer drawing established characters or your own stuff?
Probably established characters. I know that's probably not the most artistic thing to say, but it's part of the fun. You know, I get to feel like I'm part of that world, whichever one I'm working on. So it's like, these characters are all like fond memories and stuff. So that's part of the joy of doing the drawings, I think. I mean, that being said, it's also true that it seems like every D&D character I draw of mine, they end up dying. So, you know, there's that too.
Does that have anything to do with your average role?
Well, it's funny, like, I don't have a lot of characters that die, but there was a period of time where it was like every character, once I actually sat down to do a character design for them, like within a session or two, they're toast.
Have you tried sucking on purpose? And then your low rolls will cancel
Like
out.
leaning in, trying to do it on, yeah, maybe you're
Try
right.
to take advantage of your...
That's a very, Buddhist meditation thing. Like try to be more angry when you're angry, and it's harder.
Do you think that drawing established characters is harder because people have a mental image they know to be right?
Uh, how do I say this without sounding like an arrogant ass?
Everybody knows, just let her rip.
Yeah, like that's their problem, I guess. Like, yeah, to an extent, like everybody has an opinion on all the characters, and it's never going to be as good as it is in their head. So you got to kind of just let it go. Like, I'm going to do the best I can to draw my version. That's all I can do. And if I can enjoy doing it, I think that that comes through.
Jason says, you don't care.
Yeah, basically. I do care. It's just, you'll be crippled by the idea that, like, is it going to be like this person thinks the character looks like, or that person? And I just...
You're just saying you can't let it get in your head.
Right. You can't please everyone all the time, so you got to try to please yourself.
Jason said, good answer.
One of those things where, you see different artists' versions of characters that you like, and if you were a real stickler for some of them, you wouldn't expose yourself to the next one that blew your mind. You'd be like, holy, if you were like, I only enjoy John Byrne, X-Men, or nothing, which, don't get me wrong, it's not a terrible position to be in, but then you wouldn't be open to enjoying like Joe Mad's X-Men. So it just, a convoluted way of saying, like, you're gonna be open to different interpretations, man. The only time I really think about that, to be honest, is if somebody says, can you draw this character and can you draw it like X, Y, or Z? I've had clients that say, I want, coincidentally, the John Byrne X-Men. And can you do something with those guys and whatnot? And then I kind of worry about it a little bit more, because A, it's a client who's paying for it, and B, they definitely have an idea like how it should look, and that's what they're hoping I can approximate.
Samantha's back and says hi.
Hello. Welcome back.
What are you drawing now?
Tonight I am drawing a character named Scarlett from an animated show called G.I. Joe. It was also a comic book. Still is, I think.
It was quite popular when Jeff and I were kids.
That's true.
We used to watch it, well, not together because we hadn't met yet, but after school probably, right?
Yep. And actually, I know it's still a comic because Bob and my friend Paul Pelletier draws still, which he hates.
Oh, and she said she already saw it on your Instagram. So.
It's funny, that's one of those things, like Paul talking to Paul about drawing G.I. Joe. Somebody my age, whatnot, would be like, oh, that seems like that would be great. And poor Paul, he doesn't have the emotional attachment to it, the nostalgia. So to him, it's like, these are all characters with really specific costumes. All the gear has to look a very specific way. All the vehicles are toys and everything. Everybody knows exactly what they're supposed to look like. So every page is a reference chore for him. So it's not like he's like, well, at least I get to draw a G.I. Joe. He's more of like, sweet Lord, I have to look every single thing up.
Have to be detail oriented for that one, huh?
Right, yeah. And to be completely honest, I don't blame him. If I was drawing something where it was very reference intensive for every page and every character and whatever, that would get really frustrating. It just takes so much time.
Samantha said, I was going to bring a friend, but I don't know if she's free. I want her to see your drawings.
Oh, that's very nice. Thank you.
That is very nice, Samantha. And Jeff does put his sketches on usually a couple days later, right? Like 2 days later, you put them up on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, tomorrow or Wednesday, I'll put them on I have a playlist of Sketchy Shenanigans videos.
Yeah. If you go to his channel and go under the live tab, then you'll see or the playlist tab,
Right.
It would be there. So she actually can go back and watch all the ones that he's done in the past. HB0 says hi, and it looks like we've got a bird. I think. Is that a bird? Pretty cool.
Welcome to the stream. We're getting close to the end, actually. Well, that, I think.
I love the airborne ponytail.
Yeah, again,
It really does it.
it's just a trick for showing motion in a static object. Any clothing, cloaks and stuff are really good for that. Strap bandanas on Ninja Turtles.
Logan asks, is there a specific type of character that you like to draw?
I really like fantasy stuff, and actually I was thinking about this the other day, like in one of the earlier streams, Micah had asked me what character I think I've drawn the most, and I was kind of like, maybe The Thing. But honestly, not that I show this a lot of times when I'm sketching, it's Conan the Barbarian. It's like, in any given sketching session, that's going to be one of the sketches. It's just,
I feel like Conan dominates pretty much every aspect of your
I
hobbies
do
and
like
interests.
I do like Conan quite a bit.
We have a lot of Conan books in the house, and Conan comics, and
Yep.
nothing wrong with that. Adam asks if we're allowed to vote yet. No. Or do we need to wait until you say vote? Yeah, we probably want to wait until we say vote, because otherwise it will be very difficult for us to see who picked what number first.
Yeah, but we're getting there. We're very close. We're what, 8:27.
Yeah.
So.
And Jason says it looks like she's about to put down.
You don't know, she could. Starscream's all talk.
Samantha, are you talking about the voting? The voting is just, it's not really a vote, it's
It's a
just
guess.
the guess for the roll.
Yep.
The roll of the die.
Okay, I think I'm good with that. So, get your trigger fingers ready here. I am rolling the 20-sided die. Go ahead and guess.
Welcome, Jenny. We've just rolled a die, so if you want to guess a number, and Jason White won.
Twice in a row, Jason.
Great to know, Samantha. Welcome.
Oh, welcome. Hey, Heather. Thank you. Unfortunately, we just did the drawing. Both the sketch is done, but I did the contest drawing, which is basically I roll a 20-sided die and get people to guess, and Jason already guessed the correct number.
Jason always guesses one every week, so we kind of figured when we saw what the number was that he would probably guess it.
So,
Oh, you didn't send the scan?
yeah, I haven't sent the scan yet, but I will. I just have been running around and being forgetful, so
I'll
apologies.
remind him, Samantha. I'll get after him. I can be a good nag when I need to be.
It's true. It hasn't
Wait,
gone
what?
anywhere,
Oh.
so I will definitely send you like a high-res JPEG of it.
Do you need me to get the scanner ready? Is that part of the problem?
It's kind of covered and stuff, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll do that. Why are you apologizing, Jason?
Because he won. He's British.
Oh.
Of course. Sorry I dropped the ball, Samantha. All right, everybody. That's about it. I appreciate you all showing up and participating and having fun. And we'll do the same thing next Monday.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
All right, have a good night.